Hello, you're about to hear Good Morning Seminole, our monthly signature event. Please enjoy.
Good morning, Seminole. All right, let's get some clapping. There we go. Woo. I promised myself I wasn't going to use the tagline, but I did it because I love it. It's great. Good morning, Seminole. Good morning, everyone. My name is Esteban Saldarriaga. I am the business marketing manager for the Seminole County Economic Development Team. I am incredibly excited to be here in front of you all. And let me just give you a quick glow up before we invite our panelists up to the stage. Who you're about to hear from today, these four business owners, CEOs, impactors, are all located here in your backyard. And what you're going to see is different industries that are changing the world, literally changing the world. That's not hyperbole, that's not an exaggeration. You're about to hear from individuals whose life mission is to make our world a better place. I wanted to lay that context down because I've been fortunate enough to work with each of them in some context to help get exposure, connect with partners in the region, and overall join their mission to impact our society, diseases, our environment. And without further ado, because I don't want to ramble, I want to invite our panelists up to the stage. We're joined today by Tony Martinez, VP of Communications and Operations. Welcome, Tony. How you doing? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Serg Albino. Serg, good to see you again. How are you, sir? With ecoSPEARS. We've got Peter Travers with LifeBridge Innovations, and Brittany Lytle, our Vice President of Learning and Development for ExamRoom.AI, the newest resident to the Seminole County business community. Let's give them all a round of applause. All right, panelists, let's jump in. So we're going to start with the basics, folks. Let's hear a little bit about each of your companies. We'll take about a minute to kind of just tell us about your company, tell us about your mission, and really talk about what the value is to our world with what you're doing. Tony, we'll start with you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm with TimePlast, and TimePlast is a company that is at the bleeding edge of technology, sustainable technology. We create a resin that is water soluble. It'll be used in manufacturing across the board to replace plastic, aluminum, glass, paper, everything under the sun. And with the key advantage of being water soluble, the material itself also is time programmable, which is a huge advantage for us.
Thank you, Tony. Serg?
Forever Chemicals. Everybody's heard of them, right? Yeah. So it's in our drinking water, it's in our soils, the very ground that our houses are on, our schools are on. And the only way today to remediate these forever chemicals is to dig them up and to change zip codes, send them to a landfill or to an incinerator, converting contaminated soil and water to emissions or air pollution. ecoSPEARS develops on-site, non-combustion, non-thermal solutions for these forever chemicals, so we could extract them from our environment and eliminate them forever. Forever solutions. Thanks.
Super. So 90% of cancer deaths are from metastatic disease, not primary tumors. And yet only about 10% of research dollars go to metastatic disease. All the rest is on primary tumors. So we're introducing a new cancer therapy that's called adaptable tumor treating fields. It has no side effects. It essentially unmasks tumors to a patient's own immune system, so you have tumor reduction. Thus, you have no side effects. Our target is metastatic patients. We want to get them early in their remission, in their reoccurrences, bring them back into remission, and keep them there for years with a high quality of life. So our mission is to transform metastatic cancer into a manageable disease instead of a terminal diagnosis.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me here. Appreciate it. My name is Brittany Lytle. I'm with ExamRoom.AI, and in a nutshell, we provide a secure testing environment from an online platform. So, pleasure to be here.
Thank you all. Thank you for sharing. I want to talk a little bit now about why Seminole County. You know, what drove the decision to be located here and expand, grow, and really push your business forward. And Brittany, I want to start with you. The honor goes to you as the new person in the room. Tell us a little bit about why ExamRoom AI is now located in Seminole County and specifically in Lake Mary.
Yeah, awesome. So essentially, our founder and CEO grew up in Central Florida, moved all around the world, India, all the places, and did market analysis. And the greater Orlando area is expanding rapidly, as everybody knows. It's like number 6 in the U.S. right now, so it was a great target market for us. You have all of the colleges for talent, and at the end of the day, with the growth in the talent market that we have, we decided to make Seminole County home. So that's why we're here.
Cool. My late wife and I wanted to raise our family around church, so we decided to follow Northland Church to its new facility in Longwood. So we pulled in the parking lot of that church and drove around, so we want to live as close as possible, and we found a house within a mile. And 30 years later, 3 of my 4 sons met their wives at that church. So I had no idea what a big day it was when we were in that parking lot. From there. And then second was schools, and since we had all that community there, we decided it made perfect sense to start our business in Seminole County as well.
For us, Seminole County is Florida's natural choice, correct? And as an environmental clean tech business, it just kind of makes sense. We initially became an exclusive license on NASA technology from NASA Kennedy Space Center, where I used to work. And when we licensed that technology, we searched Central Florida for the right location for ourselves. And having lived in Central Florida for quite a while, Seminole County was just the right choice for us. It was a perfect balance between nature and and the right work environment, the right ecosystem for business as well as for the environment for our business.
I come from Miami, which is a completely different environment, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And I was just having this conversation with Rebecca while we were sitting, waiting to start. The accessibility to local government and resources here in Central Florida is second to none. We really do have open channels of communication with local government, with city. It's really a welcome change for someone like myself that comes from a big city like that. Not that Orlando's small, but it's more of a hometown type feel here.
Good save, Tony. I like that. That was a good save. We all heard a common theme around resources, and I want to also take a second to thank Rebecca and the Chamber for putting this panel together. Again, when we talk about resources, we really need to make sure that we're talking about everything from our local homegrown entities like the Chamber to larger resources that we'll talk about during the course of this panel. But thank you all for that. Brittany, we're going back to you. I know it seems like I'm picking on you, but I am.
You are.
So,
Okay,
all right, great.
It's okay.
Brittany, I want to talk about job creation.
Absolutely.
With your move into Seminole County, what kind of jobs can we expect to see, and where do you plan on finding that talent?
Awesome. So thank you for, I'm new here, right? So now that everybody can hear me. So the type of jobs that we're going to bring, I'm going to plug us in there. So ExamRoom.AI, you can visit our careers page. We're always hiring. We have a couple of openings. If you want to join my team in the learning and development sector, we do have availability now. But we plan on, over the next 6 months to a year, introducing careers-wise. So we're going to do developers of all sorts, right? So we have front-end, back-end, full-stack, Meteor, AI, ML guys. We're going to hire some operational staff, proctors, onboarding agents, contact center agents. So as we grow, we're continuing to build those those jobs at our location. So anytime we LinkedIn, our careers page, all of that's always open for our newest positions that are available. Now, sourcing, we have been in contact with Seminole State, UCF, CareerSource, all of that as well. So our HR department is doing a really good job in reaching out to the community to source either new hires into the new, like people that just are out of school, or some of our senior developers as well. So that's what we plan on sourcing from.
Thank you, Brittany.
Yeah.
Promise that was the last question for right now.
Right
There's
now?
more coming.
Okay.
Yeah, right now. Staying on theme for resources, let's open this up to the rest of the panel. I know 3 of you are either current clients or former clients of the UCF Business Incubation Program. I want to talk about what resources you need from us, your community, to continue your success. And we can start that with Tony, because I see him kind of just, he's in deep thought there. So I want to make sure we capitalize.
Everything is deep thought for me. The incubator has been instrumental for us, both when we were off-site and now that we are clients on-site. It really does foster an environment of support and growth. Again, we go back to accessibility. We have been put in contact with a lot of people, Esteban, Rebecca, Alan in the back, Irma, I see you back there. And everybody is really, it seems like everyone is very interested in our mission. They take a personal interest in introducing us to others, in making the connections. So the incubator has really been, at least in our experience, has been a really wonderful tool.
Thanks, Tony.
So 2012, I left a interesting career in NASA Kennedy Space Center. Brand new home, brand new baby boy, dove into the American dream of entrepreneurship. I don't recommend that for a lot of folks, let's put it that way. But the incubator, where we first started from in the UCF Business Incubator Program with Caroline Dykes at the Research Park Incubator, and then we moved to the one here in Seminole County with Rafael Albino. Shout out to Rafael. He's been such a great mentor for us throughout the years. This is where we met Peter also. Just incredible team of folks that are willing and able to help small businesses, mostly small founders also, to grow into the role they're supposed to be in. And as far as what other type of resources we need from the county or from our community here, 2 weeks ago I was in Australia, traveled 4 states, 4 cities, and spoke about PFAS. Last fall I was in Guam deploying an environmental clean tech solution with the U.S. Coast Guard. I'm aching for a home game. So I travel quite a bit for environmental remediation and cleaning up other communities. It's time to do a home game. Yeah.
Great call to action there, Serge. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peter?
One experienced person charted out the experience of an entrepreneur, and it kind of goes like this: I'm going to change the world. Things are fantastic. This is harder than I thought. Oh my gosh, my spouse is going to leave me. I don't have repairs for my car. Oh my gosh, and this is called the Valley of Death. And oh my gosh, I have some traction, and oh my gosh, this is working. I have stability. So the job of a community is to build a bridge over that Valley of Death. And for us, it's been the incubator. Raphael. When I applied to the incubator, I was nervous about getting in, and I didn't know if I was going to pass or not. And he said, Peter, whether they let you in or not, I am personally going to help you. Yeah. That's that emotional support. Because if the fundamentals are there, it's often the emotional support given to the entrepreneur that determines success or not, if the fundamentals are there. And I go to a church where I had older businessmen that mentored me. Sam Serto is a professor at Rollins College. He teaches a course on business wisdom at our church. So friends, family, community, meetings like this. Your job is to build that bridge.
Awesome. So for us, what resources do we need? Our human capital, right? Our company needs people to be able to be successful. I have to give a shout out to Jack and Guy. I'm not sure if Jack is here, Guy is there. OEP has been instrumental in getting us settled and helping us navigate through the what we call the life changes of Exam Room as we settle down. I still reside in Pensacola, so they've been really instrumental in just kind of helping us and guiding us. We have 7 or 8 people that have relocated over the last 4 months. So it's the people here, right? Our resources are our capital, so that's what we need help with, and OEP has been helping us tremendously, so.
Thank you all for emphasizing that. And it is our belief that it takes a village to raise a business, right? It's definitely an important thing for the community to come together on. Tony, your innovation, your technology is revolutionary, TimePlast, and we know that you've brought a technology to market. You're also bringing products to market using that technology. How is that different from simply bringing the tech itself to market and now bringing products that are built off that tech?
Bringing the difference between a pure technology and a tangible product is night and day. They come with their own set of unique challenges, from supply chain to consumer adoption, manufacturing. Each one of those by themselves is a monumental task. Put them together when you're a small business, and it's a very challenging environment, but for us, the fact that our technology is in fact revolutionary and we know the importance of it, that creates the drive to continue to move forward in the face of adversity, which everyone here on this panel, I'm sure, has experienced as a small business owner. We are a team of people around the world, but locally, we're whopping 2. So, there's a lot of hats to be worn. It's not just communications or operations. I open the door for the warehouse and I let people in to pick up and drop off. So we do what we have to do here as a small business.
Tony, any sneak peeks on what that first product may look like?
I'm sorry?
Any sneak peeks on what that first product may look like using TimePlast?
So we've shifted a couple different times so far. We went from a B2B approach, now we're looking at a direct-to-consumer approach, and now we are toying with the idea of just simply selling our material to market and letting people bring products to market. So the short answer is no, I don't really have a product to give you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Tony. Staying on Tony and TimePlast, let's talk about funding. TimePlast had one of the largest, most successful crowdsourcing raises in Central Florida. How difficult or how easy was it to raise these funds for your business?
It was incredibly difficult, actually, and Peter can attest to this. I know we've shared these stories. Peter's technology, which I would say is as important, if not more important, than what we are doing. Their first shot at Start Engine was not a success, right? And in the beginning, when we started, we weren't sure we were going to succeed either. There were very specific milestones that we had to hit along the road, and it seemed like the first 3 we hit them by the skin of our teeth, and then in the last 3 months we were raising $1 million a month. So you just have to stay the course with this type of thing. Crowdfunding is not easy. Funding is not easy. They always say venture money is easy when you're looking for $100 million, but when you're looking for 5, no one wants to give it to you. So that's the experience that we've had with Start Engine. It's been a great one for us. We're about to raise, we have a new raise coming up for up to $75 million, on track to IPO. That's where we're at.
All right, thank you. Peter, coming over to you, talk to us about the process of bringing a medical device to market. And if I understand correctly, you're starting trials soon, correct?
Yes. Before I answer that, just to underline what Tony said, is following through and staying with it. Our first Start Engine campaign, we only raised $26,000. We thought, what a failure. But we did our job in keeping up with the investors that put in that $26,000. And lo and behold, there were some very key people in that. And you can directly charge from that original group of people, 5 years later, have now put in $2 million from that original 26. But it has to do with Tony said, of staying with them, keeping them informed, building that support community. Yeah, so putting a Class 3 medical device through the FDA is not for the faint of heart. The only other company that has patents in our area took 11 years to develop and get their first approval, and we're in year 9. So it's kind of, that gives you an idea how long it is. Now, it's I think it was Wes Jackson that said that if the problem you're working on can be solved in your lifetime, you're not thinking big enough. But I'd like to finish this in my lifetime. I don't want to have confusion there, but it is worth it. The other company has had a global impact on cancer therapy, has over 1,000 employees now, and created over $1 billion in value. So it's really important to stay with it. That bridge, through our involvement in UCF, we were able to get enough traction to where now we were recognized by Johnson & Johnson's J-Labs, which is their business incubator, and now we're a member of the J-Labs business incubator as well. So Central Florida is a great place to be headquartered for medical devices, but to get a Class 3 device, you're going to have national consultants, regulatory, manufacturing. So you have to just recognize it's not necessarily going to, they all want to come visit you in Florida, and it's a great place to attract employees to have your headquarters, but you're going to have to go to Minneapolis, which is the mecca for medical devices, and go other places to get the job done.
Thank you, Peter. Serg, we're going to go over to you. ecoSPEARS addresses the problem of forever chemicals in our water systems, our waterways, and ground. Curious is, how did you land on such a niche as PCBs, and how has that looked like when you think about mobilizing globally? Also, what are PCBs?
That's a really good question, because I used to think it was printed circuit boards also. It's not, well, that's the other part to it. Think about this one for a second. Let's put it this way. Until we start finding environmental contamination in a pretendiverse, I'm going to stick to the real world, right? You have those guys that's chasing an escape route from this blue planet to the red planet. Let that be their focus. We're focused on this blue planet. We want to solve real-world missions, and real-world missions of the future are today, right? Clean water, clean soil, without sacrificing clean air is a real-world issue. You don't have to go very far or look far back into history to find the impacts of environmental contamination or how we address them today. Think Palestine, Ohio, right? What happened there? We moved point A to point B. Something along the way happened, and then we impacted another community. So as I said earlier, we licensed a NASA technology, because NASA, they got some brilliant folks there. Outside of all the space missions that they do, they really look to the future about using reusable technology to eliminate forever chemicals, because we use a lot of harsh chemicals as part of the process. Our lights wouldn't be here today without PCBs, because PCBs were used in transform oils. Little did we know, it's really bad for you, right? Same thing with Teflon in our Teflon pans, right? So when we licensed that technology, we fell into that niche. And I could honestly tell you, it was out of brilliance that we found this issue and we came to it, but it was truly just a blessing. I mean, you could only tie the knots when you look backwards, and it's just been a true blessing that we have been able to serve others in other communities through this technology that we've commercialized from NASA that allowed for us to develop more technology that could impact real-world issues, real-world environmental issues today.
Thank you, Serg. Last question for all of our panelists. What advice would you give to others who are looking to grow their business? Brittany, we'll start with you because I feel like I stopped giving you the love and you're over there.
I got it at the beginning. I got it at the beginning. No worries. So advice to someone who wants to move forward with an innovation is research, right? Do your market analysis and go for it. Nothing worth, when you're bringing a new technology, as everybody can attest to, it's not easy, right? Taking the path that is most commonly traveled is not going to get you what you need. So go for it, do your research, and then ask for help. It's another one too, right? There's nothing like knowing somebody that's advantageous to helping you create that, whatever it may be. But go for it and do your market research.
Thank you. Peter?
If you have an existing business, your customers will tell you your path to growth. They all have something that's very important to them that's underserved. And as Brittany said, if you do that research and find out what that is, that can be your area of growth. There's a great discipline called outcome-driven innovation that targets in on how to listen to your customers and identify things that are most important and underserved. What Customers Want by Tony Ulrich, I'd really highly recommend that book. But if you have customers, your path to growth is right in front of you. You just have to listen.
So for me, last year I got to speak at the United Nations Environmental, or Basel Rotterdam Stockholm Convention. And the UN has this great program about sustainability development goals, right? Essentially, real issues happening out there in the world. So if you're gonna build a business, pick one of those. Serve an impact that you can truly make a difference in, right? Keyword there is serve. Serve an impact, serve the community. Most importantly, invest into your ecosystem. Invest into high schools and middle schools and train your new recruits and load up your dugouts now instead of later. So serve and serve well.
Thank you, Serg. Tony?
I like to quote this often: when you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And that is something that we believe in thoroughly. Surrounding yourself with good people, people that are not just talented, but who are passionate about what you are trying to do. If you find people who are passionate, who are driven, you create a great team. And going to work, as they say, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. It's hard to believe that, but that's actually how we get up in the morning, and we are incredibly motivated because I have children, and my goal is that in the future, they inherit something that's better than what I received when I got here. So that's just my personal opinion, my personal experience. Hopefully that shines a light on what you wanted.
A spotlight. Thank you. I want to thank the panelists for putting up with my questions this morning. Thank you all for being such gracious participants. And I sleep better at night knowing that you all are changing the world, so I don't have to, because you don't want me to get involved in that whole thing. And that concludes my questions for the panelists. I'd like to open it up to the audience. Do we have any questions for our panelists up here? Or has innovation blown your mind? There we go. We got first one right over there.
Hi, I believe your name is Peter. Okay, my question is for you. What are the clinical trials that you're talking about looking like, and where are they going to be, and who is the community that it's going to affect? Is it going to be the adult community, the child community, and how is that going to look?
We have a real aspiration. We're part of Johnson & Johnson J Labs, and they're based at Children's National Hospital. So long term, we have a real aspiration to bring our therapy to children. But right now, with the FDA, we have to stay with the adult path. And our target patients are reoccurring asymptomatic metastatic patients. They've taken a harsh chemotherapy. They're in remission. They get blood work. The tumor markers tell them that cancer's back. They get a scan. They may have diffuse cancer, but they're small and manageable. That the FDA says you can go in, take care of those tumors, bring them back into remission, and then keep them there for years. So our target patient is a reoccurring metastatic patient. And we can treat up to 14 different types of cancer in one trial because we have the same target no matter what cancer we're treating. And I can explain that offline if you like.
Thank you, Peter. Any other questions from the audience? We got.
Oh, Penny. Okay.
Hi, Penny.
Hi. Here in Seminole County, it's in the cover story of Orlando Sentinel. It's the water, right? Lake Mary and that. Do you want to talk about that? And talk. Everybody's a little concerned here, especially my daughter with 3 little children. And I just finished cancer myself.
You know, the one thing that links the work that we do at ecoSPEARS and the work that Peter does with LifeBridge is that, you know, it's been known that cancer and environmental impact are somewhat linked, right? Somewhat. Yeah. Clean water. I want to say be mindful of it, right? The impact of industrial chemical in our water is one thing that we always have to be cautious about. There are great strides that are happening now, and we actually did speak with the county not too long ago about how we can help, how we can serve our community. Again, remember, I'm a little biased because I want to do a home game, right? But we have developed UV advanced oxidation technologies to specifically treat water that's impacted with contamination, industrial chemical contamination. Our team just got back from Puerto Rico a week ago, 2 weeks ago, right, Reese? Yeah. And they're dealing with a lot of industrial chemical contamination in Puerto Rico also, as well as advanced pharmaceuticals. So you may hear a lot about industrial chem and whatever that may be in the current water system here in our community, but also be mindful about the others that is still not yet regulated, it's coming down the pipe, right? Our filtration systems are great. I take precautions at my home because I live in a former golf course. So we bring in bottled water, and today this came from my refrigerator, right? But it comes through a granular-activated carbon system. So we build protocols along the way, and I could talk to you offline about that. But yeah, gotta always be mindful and always be aware of it and be in front of folks and let it be part of the tabletop conversation, right? So that our kids are better off knowing and making the right decisions today.
Thank you, Serg. And I want to say thank you to all of our panelists again, Brittany, Peter, Serg, Tony. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for the Seminole County Chamber and Rebecca. This was an incredible showcase of innovation. And if you have more questions for our panelists, grab them right after the show. These innovators have a ton to talk about in their field. They're obviously passionate. Thank you all for letting us host, and have a wonderful day. I'll pass it back to Rebecca.
Do you guys want to hang out here with me while I close? Or you could, okay, perfect. Well, who learned something new today? That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. There are so many exciting things happening in our backyard in Seminole County. We are so lucky to have you all here today to share. And if you guys were not aware of the incubator is a great partner of the county and the chamber, and there is some amazing things happening. So keep your eyes and ears open to hear about what they're developing right here in our backyard. Before I do door prizes, and there's 2 today, let me close out with the announcements. The next Good Morning Seminole in April is all about women leading the Central Florida media, so please mark your calendars and register. If you are not a member yet, please see Dina, John, or Pam. If you register with them today, if you join today, they will credit your ticket price before you leave. We also have a business hour after hours next week at Business Office Solutions. Our legislative update is March 21st, and it's almost sold out. Please don't forget to register, even if it's for a council, so we have enough coffee. We know it's not good if we run out of coffee. Thank you to AdventHealth, Next Horizon, Verizon, the Orlando Law Group, J. Wayne Miller Company, JP Morgan Chase, Waste Pro, and Genske & Co. Accounting for sponsoring. Thank you, Brian Price, for photos. Thank you to the Lake Mary Event Center for hosting us today. Thank you to one of our members who has a cool technology, Autolawn of Orlando. He is donating 2 months of robotic mowing. And Christine Wright with the Salvation Army. Are you still here? Yes, you're the winner of that. And then we also have, and I turned the page, a Ninja hot and cold brewed system from Wow Business Fiber, and that goes to Chani with Sunshine Pharmacy. Thank you all for being here today, and have a great Seminole County Day.
Thanks for listening. To learn more about the Seminole County Chamber, please visit seminolebusiness.org or check us out on our social media at Seminole County Chamber.